talking about?
All right, now we're recording. So if you
Now
want
we're
to do
recording.
your special countdown, I'm ready for it.
Yeah, wait, hold on. Let me wanna
Little sip of water, I appreciate it. You gotta stay hydrated.
let
It's
me
getting
get some.
hot.
Guys, the guy gotta stay hydrated. It's hot.
This
All
is
right, ready?
real talk. Take one.
Take one. Okay, three. No, I gotta count us in. That's how.
Well, yeah,
otherwise
now
my
you do the
phone-
count in, but I you got to do the slate first.
Hey everyone, what is going on? Welcome back to On the Fence Movie Reviews. I am Rob here with my buddy Tony, and this is Real Talk. Thank you so much for tuning in with us, Tony. Thanks once again
Oh
for
yeah.
joining me, so I don't have to ramble by myself. Really appreciate you joining me on this episode of Real Talk. How's it been, man?
I've been bothering Rob the last couple weeks to film another episode of Real Talk, only because I've seen so many movies since then, and there's so much news that have come out since we've recorded an episode last. We talked a little bit about the horror aspect of CinemaCon on Nights of Horror Radio last week, as to what was announced. Today we're going to talk about a lot of different movies beyond the horror genre, so super excited to dive into that. There's a lot, and of course the breaking news of today: Thunderbolts tickets now on sale, and trailers for both Thunderbolts and Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning.
Which I'm very excited for both. But let me just go through this real quick. We are April's already kind of started, but I did want to go through the movies that were going to come out in April, because we have some at least some movies in my mind that I'm really looking forward to, looking forward to. And I know more specifically one, actually I think a couple that you're probably gonna be into. But one I wanted to bring up that came out last weekend was a Minecraft movie, which
Yes.
we'll talk about that a little bit right now. Kind of surprise hit right there. But we got also Drop coming out. I believe it's this weekend coming up.
Yes. Christopher Landon.
Looks very interesting. Very kind of now technology nowadays. So that looks very interesting. Also the this is one I'm looking forward to, is The Amateur with I don't know how you say, is it Rami Malek or Rami Malek?
Yes, the one where he was like FBI like tech guy, and then he goes on a
Yeah.
crusade to like resurrect his like wife or something, right?
Which very so normally we see like these type of movies where it's like the tough, I think like Jason Statham or like Liam Neeson,
Yeah.
who's just like all these, punch you in the face. But this guy seems very like, and they kind of show it in the trailers, he's not the buff guy who's gonna fight you, but he's gonna beat you with his mind. So very interesting movie that I'm looking forward to. Another one for you army kind of fans, it's Warfare. Follows like Navy SEALs. This looks very interesting as well. And towards the end of the month is the heavy hitters for me, which Sinners comes out, I believe, in a couple weeks. That looks really interesting.
Yes.
I really enjoy.
Is that the vampire one?
The vampire one,
with Michael B. Jordan, right?
Michael B. Jordan.
Yes, that looks fantastic.
I really enjoy Michael B. Jordan, phenomenal actor. He's any role I think I've ever seen him in, he absolutely kills it. So I'm excited to see what Sinners is all about. We get a little taste of some vampire-ness in there, but I feel like there's a little secrets that they're hiding from us. Also, and this is one I'm not familiar with the source material, but as soon as I saw the trailer, I was just like, I gotta watch this, and it is Until Dawn.
Yes.
Tony, you give us a little bit about this, because I know this is right up your alley.
Yeah, they're doing a different approach for the movie, but essentially the game is based around the butterfly effect. So you make decisions throughout this game, and every decision you make leads to someone's death or someone preventing a death, or eventually down the line something's going to come back. What was creepy about this game was the creatures throughout the game. There was a lot of jump scares. This launched a franchise of games that you now know as the Dark Pictures Anthology. The studio now has done all these types of games where they kind of, these choices that you make throughout the game affect the game's progression as you go on. You either can die earlier, you can unlock something that you weren't, a secret area. Like, it could lead to a bunch of different scenarios. ironically, Rami Malek was in the first game as one of the characters, and actually,
Okay.
this company is known for getting a lot of stars to come in their games and play certain characters as well.
Interesting.
So I'm excited because they're taking the movie and they're kind of doing a what's the Groundhog Day. They're kind of doing like a Groundhog Day scenario
Okay. Okay.
where they are kind of reliving the same day and they're dying different times every time. But you're seeing all these different creatures from the game. I'm so stoked for this one. PlayStation lately has been on a roll, in my opinion, with films. I actually enjoyed the Tom Holland Uncharted film. I thought it was a fun film.
Oh yeah.
My only issue was the casting choice for Mark Wahlberg's character, Sully.
Sully.
Yeah, I would have casted someone a little bit older, but I know they were going for like a younger Nathan Drake too, so it all kind of makes sense. But I don't think he looks good with the mustache. That's just me. The Last of Us right now is about to drop a new season as of this recording this Sunday, and I'm so stoked for season 2, which is going to be diving into part 2 of the game. So those games are phenomenal as well. And a God of War series is on the works right now through Amazon. So Sony is really capitalizing on jumping in. PlayStation Studios are jumping in the live action movie, TV show, game. I think they've done a great job so far. Their storytelling to their video games are phenomenal, so I can't wait to see what Until Dawn brings.
Oh yeah, and see, I've never played Until Dawn, but just obviously
I
trailers.
think I have it. Maybe I'll let you borrow it. Do you have a disc drive on your
I don't wanna
PlayStation?
get scared. I don't want to get scared. I don't want to get scared.
I should replay it. Just for that and The Last of Us Part 2. I should be replaying both of those right now.
But yeah, I think the trailer did an excellent job for someone who has never even known about the game until I saw the trailer. And then I was talking to you and you're like, oh dude, this is a video game. And I remember you telling me about it. I think it was on maybe we were getting ready for a Nights of Horror Radio or something, and we were talking about it. So I had to go look it up, and I was just like, oh, they did a phenomenal job in getting someone who's never had nothing to do with the game interested in the movie. So that, and then to round it off, we also have The Accountant 2. There hasn't been a lot of
I've been seeing a lot of promotion. Actually, I have been. I've been seeing like
you have. Okay.
So if you don't know me by now, obviously Rob and I are huge wrestling fans. I watch wrestling every single week.
Yeah.
I watch it on Netflix. I record SmackDown on USA. So when I'm fast forwarding through commercials for USA or for other things lately, I've been seeing a lot of Accountant 2 trailers. I've been watching LFG on A&E, and
Okay.
I've been seeing a lot of trailers because the only reason I know about that is because obviously this one is gonna focus with more John Berthal as well, his brother in the movie. So I'm excited. I don't know if it's going to be as big of a hit as the first one was. I think this one was like, hey, let's capitalize on the success of the first one.
Well, I think I don't even. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't think the first one was that big of a hit. I think for people who watched it, and I will say this, I will compare it to John Wick. John Wick theater wise wasn't like a box office blockbuster. It was like it didn't really pick up speed until it hit, streaming or DVD, however you consumed afterwards. But during the theater, I don't remember too many people talking about The Accountant. But I saw it and I really enjoyed it. So, and they don't obviously in the first one they don't let you know that John Bernthal's character and not Matt Damon, Ben Affleck's character are brothers. They're kind of like on two sides of the spectrum here in the movie. And eventually it's revealed later on in the movie that they are related, and you see you put all the pieces that were there, you put them all together and you're like, oh yeah, okay, they're brothers. I'm glad that they're going to show them working together in this one. At least that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Because once the first one ended, I was like, man, how dope would it have been to see them both do their thing. Because John Bernthal's character in the movie is just this brutal, he's this he's like he's doing security, but this guy's ruthless. And then you have this accountant who is very smart, but also he will murder you. So I'm excited for this movie.
I believe Ben Affleck's character in there is supposed to be autistic as well.
Yes, he is.
Because
Yes.
I know there's one part where like he separates all his food like very
Yeah,
specific and
yeah,
delicately,
yeah,
and I
yeah,
remember looking at that like, wow, that's interesting. I didn't know a lot of
yeah.
people.
So we got a lot of good movies
Yeah.
coming out this month in April. And one thing I want to touch on real quick, and I don't know if you've seen any videos on it, and I am very much against it, but I do want to talk about it just a little bit. Have you seen anything going on with like the Minecraft
Oh,
viewing
dude.
in the theater?
Dude, I've been seeing. I am honestly. I'm gonna be 100% real with you right now.
Go
I
ahead,
do.
go.
I do want to see this movie. Um,
Okay,
I I'm not. I don't play Minecraft at all anymore.
okay,
I played it a lot when it first dropped on the Xbox 360.
okay.
That's how old I am. And I'm pretty sure there's another audience will be like, dude, you're only 26. Shut the fuck up, you're a baby. But there. I think I love Jack Black. Number one, I'm a big
Okay.
Jack Black fan. I'll watch anything with Jack Black. I think he's an entertaining actor. I've seen Tenacious D in concert twice, and he's just as entertaining on stage and in person as he is on films. Like
I
he
can
is.
imagine.
I mean, he's one actor you don't hear get in trouble. Like he keeps to himself. Like he stays, everything's clean. Like he is just overall just looks like a genuine, awesome person to be around. And when I saw that he was doing a Minecraft movie, I'm like, well, this guy is literally becoming the king of video game movies because he's literally
Oh,
popping up in everything now. Um, I want to see this because of Jack Black and because of Jason Momoa, and it does.
okay.
And I don't know why everyone is surprised that it made all this money. I am not surprised one bit. This game is so huge, even today, with so many kids that I knew this movie was going to be a success. I didn't think it was going to make the numbers it did this weekend, but it doesn't surprise me.
Oh yeah, I think they were. Now I could be wrong. I heard this earlier today. I think their projections were somewhere around.
310 million.
Well, no. How? Wait, how much was it? Did you say?
300. I think worldwide it was 310 million.
Okay, yeah. I heard
Domestic, it might be
dom-
80.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I heard. Like 70, somewhere between 70 and 80, and I think it domestically it was like at 160 or something like that. So,
Yeah.
definitely. See, and I'm not a Minecraft person. I never played it. I was just like, but I'm also like a good 20 years, 15 years
Right.
older than you. So it just wasn't my thing. So,
Yeah.
but I'm glad to see it's a video game movie, so I'm glad to see the success. You were not surprised. I was very surprised because you just don't really, for me, I'm just like, it's a Minecraft movie. Like, yeah, like
Well,
I could see.
go ahead,
Oh, go
finish.
ahead.
Oh, go ahead,
Oh, no, I was
finish.
gonna say I could see like Mario Brothers generations. Like,
Yeah.
I grew up
I
with
went to go
Mario
see that
Brothers.
fucking movie. Come on.
Yeah, so I mean I could see that, but like a Minecraft movie, it's just like really like
Well,
all right.
so the way you look at Super Mario Brothers as a generational thing, I think Minecraft, since its inception back in like the like late 2000s, maybe early
Okay.
2010s, I believe. It has been it's now becoming a generational thing. We're in 2025 and this game is still relevant.
Okay.
And it keeps getting updated. It doesn't surprise me that I'm seeing the reactions that I'm seeing on the internet, in theater reactions of all these Easter eggs and stuff and how people freaked out. People did
Yeah.
this. If you paid attention on the internet around the time Five Nights at Freddy's came out, people did the same shit for Five Nights at Freddy's. They were freaking out over all the references, all the Easter eggs, everything. I didn't know shit. I know the basic layout of the game, and I know the basic like what the
Right.
game you're supposed to do, and I know what happens in the game. I've seen streamers play all the other games, but like I didn't know the backstory, the lore, and shit. But with Minecraft, like it really, when I first found out they were going to make this movie, the first thing I said is, how are you going to make a Minecraft movie? Since that announcement, which was, I have to say it was like 10 years ago that I first heard that announcement of them making a movie. Since that announcement, that game's evolved so much. And I was like skeptical when it was going to come out because I was like, is this game relevant enough for it to be a box office hit? This weekend proved me wrong. A lot of people are giving it pretty decent scores too. I think Cinema Score gave it like a B+, which I think isn't too bad for a film, especially a film that I thought wasn't going to do good.
I'm gonna
So
go with whatever. When I went to school, B+ was passing.
it was
So
passed. That's B's a B, bro.
B's a B.
Hey,
B
I
minus,
wasn't.
B plus.
I was shocked
Good.
if I ever got an A on a report card, be honest with you. Like I was satisfied with the B and a C. Like that was passing to me.
I think I got someone else's report card.
My parents were like, just get B's and C's, even we'll accept D's. Like it's passing. I'm like, okay. C is like,
show up with an F.
Don't show up with an F. Even if it's at like a 59%, almost to a D. Like that's still an F at the end of the day. And there's no F plus. But no, I think that I'm not gonna go see it in theaters because of these reactions that I'm seeing. Because I'm pretty like when I'm in the theaters, I do like to chat about things as I'm watching it with somebody, just to like, oh, dude, did you see that? Or like, oh, what do you think this is? Like little things here and there. Or if someone like, Hayes and I will go to movies a lot, and like for example, Captain America, she didn't understand a lot of like the characters, the reference. So I was explaining, oh, this is this character like from this movie, and this is this from that movie, So
yeah,
I think I'm just gonna wait for this one to drop on. I think it's gonna drop on the Peacock eventually. Wait, who did this movie? Warner Brothers?
I think this was Warner Brothers. Yeah.
So this will be on the Max eventually. I'll catch it on the Max, and I'll just wait for this one to come home. Nothing against. I'm as big of a supporter of going to see movies for the box office purposes and everything. I just don't think I can sit through this movie with children that get excited for it. I mean,
yeah. Well, that is the thing too. It is not. I'm not the target demographic of this movie. It's an age younger.
I mean, but I was yelling during Infinity War and Endgame, so I'm like,
that's different.
Is that different then? I thought it was.
I don't whack with the bucket of popcorn. I'll tell you that. I don't want to get hit with the bucket of popcorn.
That's true.
Or that's fine. So anyways, awesome. Minecraft is doing so well. Now let's jump right into some big news with some chairs that happened. Let's do this. So was it last week? I'm so lost. It was last week or 2 weeks ago?
For what? CinemaCon?
That the Doomsday cast.
Oh, that was beginning I think it was beginning of I think it was Monday, or it was 2 weeks ago. I think it was Monday, last Monday.
I think they started on Monday and then it finished on Wednesday with how long it took to get through all the chairs.
Yeah, God. No, I think it was like a 15-hour live stream.
Yeah.
But it was all day.
And it was and every 12 minutes they revealed a new chair of a character that was going to be appearing in Avengers Doomsday. Now
26, I believe they confirmed right now.
Was that what it was?
26.
So and Mr. Robert Downey Jr. kind of capping it off at the end of it, the end of this live stream. But Tony, talk to me, man. What did you think about this long stream? And were there any surprises or anyone you were kind of looking forward to that they didn't announce, or just overall, what did you think of the casting and the way they did it with the chairs?
So I know and there's been a lot of news that has come out since that reveal of other things. Specifically, Kevin Feige saying that there's still more people to be announced for this movie, so we're not done yet. Not to mention, I don't want everyone in this first film. You give me the core people that you need for this film. Right. Save everybody for Secret Wars. I feel like Secret Wars is the culmination of the end of the multiverse saga, and it's essentially what I'm hearing is Marvel's reboot to go into the mutant saga. So save everyone for Secret Wars. You don't need to bring everyone in if it's not necessary. That being said, I was very surprised, very shocked to see the entire original X-Men from the original X-Men movies come back. I had heard rumors. I had heard, all that stuff about this. I thought we were at most going to get like, okay, we got Wolverine already. We got Deadpool. I thought we were for sure going to get them too. And I thought we were going to get Patrick Stewart and Magneto, Ian McKellen, and and maybe like Storm or Cyclops. And Beast. I knew we were going to get Beast because we already seen Beast in the MCU. So when they announced like other people like freaking Nightcrawler and Raven, aka what's her name, the shapeshifter,
Oh,
Um,
Mystique.
Mystique.
You think about
Yeah,
Mystique?
Mystique.
Yeah.
When they brought all these original actors back, like, and I know you can relate to this on a pretty heavy topic, but when they brought all these actors back, like, I felt like a kid again. Like, this
Oh yeah.
honestly was like, these were my superheroes growing up. Like, I
Right.
watched all the X Men movies, much like you did. Spider Man was the shit, Fantastic Four, the Hulk. We watched all these movies growing up, and to see all these people come back and really reprise these roles, I'm so excited to see what we're going to get. Now, the rumors I'm hearing so far is potentially we might get a little maybe Avengers versus X-Men kind of storyline as well, mixed in with this Doomsday storyline. So
Okay.
the only thing I asked is I need to see one thing on the screen for at least Doctor Doom's big entrance, and that is the beginning of this movie has to start with him coming face to face with Thanos and fucking ripping his skeleton out of his body like he did in that comic book. I need to see that. And someone actually just recently, I think, did a like a CGI, a really good CGI rendering of what that scene would look like with the two, Josh Brolin's
Very
Thanos
cool.
and Robert
Yeah.
Downey Jr. And it looks stunning. It looks right out of the comic. I'm like, Russo brothers, take some notes. I need a film version of this now.
I'm just very, I don't follow the comics like I used to when I was younger, just
Right.
life, all that stuff. But
Yeah.
luckily I have friends such as you who keep their, kind of keep their hands on everything. So I can kind of like go to you but what I'm really interested to see, because like you were saying, this is kind of going to be the end of their like multiverse kind of saga, like a reboot of the MCU. What I'm really interested to see is, obviously we've seen them kind of like weaving in mutants into the MCU. If the route that you're talking about, as far as like, the Avengers versus the X-Men kind of thing, I'm excited to see that. It's one of those things where like Marvel's kind of, not say, I'm not gonna say let me down over the past couple years, but
It's fair to
they
say,
haven't.
yeah, their quality hasn't been what it used to be.
Right, but I feel like just with everything they're announcing and everything
Yeah.
that they're kind of building and leading up to, I'm excited to see what they do. I don't know what other X-Men they're gonna bring. I've heard
Hopefully
rumors,
Deadpool Wolverine.
different. Yeah, yeah. So I'm excited. I'm really this is like this isn't it's just crazy to think how far we've come from like the first Iron Man kind of thing, and even like
Dude.
the first, like the first X-Men movie.
Yeah.
It was just like years and years ago, and now look where we're at. Like
Dude,
they're gonna meet.
let me
Like
tell you a
it's
story.
just crazy. It's
I
just
know it's
crazy.
so mind-boggling because I think about it all the time. Let me tell you a story, dude. I remember my dad, he told me like when the first X-Men came out, they were in Laughlin and he went to go
Okay.
see it, man, and he was so stoked and excited for that. Like, think about that first X-Men movie. You even watch back today, yeah, it's a little cheesy, but it still kind of holds up for what they
Oh yeah.
did, man.
Yeah.
It's just incredible. But no, dude, like we live in a world now where, and it's because Disney has billions upon billions upon almost trillions of dollars, that they're buying out all these movie companies like 20th Century Fox, and that was
Yeah.
like the kind of the big final piece of the puzzle was to get a majority of those characters back,
Right.
and now we're giving them a grand introduction. I mean, you know, you talk about like when mutants started popping up in the MCU, and you heard references and stuff here. I think the first official character that was deemed a mutant for the MCU was Kamala Khan when they
Right.
first did the Ms. Marvel show. And then when Black Panther came out that December, they confirmed that Namor was the first mutant because he's been around for thousands of years.
Right.
So he's a mutant as well. So then you had those two mutants, and then Deadpool and Wolverine comes out, and it really brings more mutants into the MCU with the Void and everything. Now we're going into Secret Wars and Doomsday, and we got more X-Men on the horizon. It's insane. I never thought, with everything going on, that we would see a lot of these actors reprise these roles. I'm so glad that Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen are still head over heels to. I think it's always been their dream to be in the MCU, and if this is their last time playing these roles, I'm glad we got to see him in the MCU.
Oh, for sure. It's one of those things where even just like them kind of with like Days of Futures Past and
God,
just
I think
the
that's the best X-Men movie, by the way.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Just the like the time jumping and just you know what, when I watch Days of Future, and a little bit of a bias here, I love Days of Futures Past just because I worked, I think I've told you, we worked at a Digital Domain as maintenance when which was like a movie production studio, and that's where they kind of edited, and they had like one of the Sentinels there, and that's where I got to meet the late great Stan Lee there when he was coming to like just watch
Did you say hi
like
to
a
him?
short
Did you like get to
clip.
talk to him?
I got to like say hi and like introduce, hey, my name's Robert, but not like a full on like, hey, let's sit down and have lunch, because obviously I was working and he was there working, so.
Yeah.
But
No, he wasn't there
very,
working. He's retired. He was just there being Stanley.
yeah, he was just there he was just standing around. But so I got to see a lot of behind the scenes on that movie
That must have been really
specifically.
cool.
Oh, it was awesome, man. I was like, I geeked out
Why'd you
so
leave that
many
job?
times.
What are we
Like,
doing?
I got laid off.
Okay, we're gonna reapply.
Yeah, we'll reapply and go back there. But yes, Days of Futures Past, probably the best
Yeah.
X-Men movie. But yes, it is so cool to see like Ian McKellen and
Patrick Stewart.
Patrick Stewart to be in the MCU, and it's just like they cemented their roles as their characters, for all of us. But now this is just like the sprinkles on top of that sundae, where it's
Not to
just like,
mention,
oh,
bro, Channing Tatum's name was on one of those chairs.
yes,
Now he's teasing
bro,
right now that he just has a name and a chair to sit in. We all
bro.
fucking know there's only one role he was born to play and one role he's going to get to play again, and that's fucking, we're going to see more Gambit, bro. And he's going to be
Bro.
with the fucking X-Men, bro.
Let me tell you, in Deadpool and Wolverine, when he showed up, bro, like it was it was amazing.
It was,
Like
dude, that whole scene,
it was amazing, bro.
to
Like,
see
and
all
I
those
like
characters, like it was awesome.
like many people, Gambit is Gambit's my favorite X-Men.
He's
And I
amazing.
know other people love Gambit. He's their favorite X-Men. I just like his story, his origin
I
story.
like just the way he looks, his look.
Oh,
He
yeah,
looks
his
badass,
armor.
bro.
Yeah,
His trench coat, his stick,
his staff, yeah,
it's
all
amazing. The
that stuff.
cards, like he is just a badass looking character.
He's like oozes charisma. So
He just oozes
but
cool. Like I'm too cool to hang out with that guy.
yeah, he's like, oh, let me flip my cards around. It just the way they did his powers,
So
everything. I
great.
loved it. So very, very cool. I'm super excited.
Yeah.
Doomsday, what is that coming? It's coming out
Next April.
Next April.
Yes.
So we got
They are production is starting right now in London.
It's gonna fly. It's gonna fly.
And
Before
rumor
you
has
know
it, Tessa Thompson's in London and shooting starts in a few days. So
Interesting.
I think we can expect a Valkyrie show up.
Yep, we will see. But let's jump on to some other news. You mentioned it. You mentioned, I was trying to think what topic to go with, but I'm going to talk about something you actually brought up a little bit ago, and that is coming up this Sunday, from the day of this filming, this Sunday, The Last of Us Season 2 will premiere on Max. And let me just say, for me, I know the first season of Last of Us, and comparable to the game, and they let us know it's not gonna be 100% to the game. I feel like they did stick true to a lot of the video game, which is why fans of the video game enjoyed the show so much. But HBO, our Max, is with this show specifically, the first season absolutely killed it. And I know the second season, from just hearing people who've got to kind of see it, early reviews.
Yeah, I think they
of
did
it.
didn't they do like a 2 or 3 episode screening of the first 3 for the premiere, right?
Yeah, and they said it's right on par with, as far as just the emotion, the heartache you feel for these characters, and just the acting from everyone on the show is amazing. So Tony, you've played the game, I've played the game, and then we already know going into this. And this is one thing I will say. This is not spoilers or anything. This
Hold on,
second
hold on, hold on,
season.
hold on, hold on, hold on.
Go ahead.
I no. We are not gonna share anything about this because if
No, no, no,
anyone,
no. I'm not. No, no, no.
and
I'm not.
they gotta go through the same exact emotions we
No,
went
no,
through.
no, 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 no. I'm not going to talk about the video game at all. I'm
Okay,
not. This is not about the video
okay,
game.
okay.
I'm not going to say anything about the video game. All I'm going to say is, this season 2 is going to follow the second video game, but they've split it up into, I believe, 2 parts.
Because they don't want to make a
So,
fucking part 3 for a video game.
well, yeah. You know.
No, well, that's the thing is like I think someone asked them recently, like, are you guys gonna do a Last of Us Part 3? And they're like, it's not in the future. Like, I was like, well, how do you expect to carry on with the show then? I mean, I know you're gonna split this in 2 halves, and we'll get into it a little bit, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you don't
No,
do
I
a
mean,
chapter 3 and then you
I
don't
mean,
make.
I mean, I'll say Game of Thrones. The Game of Thrones, they kept going at. I mean,
Yeah, but wasn't Martin involved with all that shit?
he was. Yes, he was.
So he was
I mean,
the
but
consultant.
yeah, he was like a consultant, like, oh, this is where they would go here. But they didn't even with the like Game of Thrones books.
But then after those seasons came out, he went and wrote those books, didn't he?
n-
I thought
I
that's what he
only
did.
I only think he wrote one after the season had come out. But he
Oh.
even with the first seasons, they didn't stick to like exact. Obviously, there was big stuff that happens that he stuck to, but for they took some liberties with some stuff and they changed some things. So I think going on in the future, I don't want the Last of Us to go on forever. It doesn't need
No.
7 or 8
No.
seasons. I think 4 to 5 seasons, solid seasons, especially if they're like season 1, even if they have to make up the like one season, like, oh, this is what happens, this leads this led to this led to this, and here we are in season 4. I'd be okay with that, kind of taking some liberties. But again, we have this amazing show coming back this Sunday, Last of Us season 2. Tony, talk about it. Talk about it. Go. Fire away.
I don't think people are going to be ready for the cliffhanger. Number 1. That's all I'm going to leave it at.
Okay.
If you've played the video games, you will be a little bit more prepared for it. If you haven't, you're in for a treat. I think that the casting for this show has been phenomenal. I am very excited for everyone, and it's been in the trailer. It's been a lot of promotional and marketing. I'm excited for everyone to meet Abby. Abby is a very complex character, psychologically and emotionally, and she has a purpose, and throughout the game, you start to side with her purpose. At least I felt I was. I don't know if you've played the second game, but you start to side with her after you start seeing her point of view of things. And I thought it was a very interesting take on the video game. I thought it was a very psychological take on the video game. It's like, wait a second. You start to really question yourself. And, I think that, if anyone knows the video game, there was a lot of controversy when the game came out because this game got spoiled about a week or 2 before it actually hit shelves and hit stores. And that was the ending of the game, or what happens in the game. So a lot of people came already pissed off, and I think that's why the game, it was still phenomenal, and I think it still got higher ranks, but a lot of fans were already pissed off going into the game that they didn't even want to play the game. So, yeah, I think that I can't wait to see, like much how they did with the first game. Neil Druckmann pretty much said that it was his opportunity to fix things that necessarily he didn't, it went one way with the game, but he wanted it to be different for the show. And I think that's what's cool. And I think that you're going to see that a lot with season 2 is it's going to go pretty spot on to the show. From what I've seen trailer-wise and everything, it's pretty spot on to the game. But I think there will be some changes here and there that make the show or enhance the story a lot better. So I'm excited for it. I can't wait. It's going to be on HBO as well as streaming same day on Max. So you can catch it if you have HBO or if you have Max, which I know majority of you just have Max.
Yeah. I think for The Last of Us season 2, I think it's top tier, and then I'm talking video game here, top tier storytelling. Uh, yeah, for real. And one thing I will kind of echo you is I think the video game does an excellent job, and I have no doubt that the series will do this as well. Is putting into kind of like not so much perspective, but putting it like y- everyone's right in like their like everyone's kind of right in their own eyes,
Yeah,
kind of like
that's the perfect way to put it, actually.
yeah,
Because you
everyone's
see
right.
so many perspectives in this game.
Yeah, so and I think for sure the show's gonna do the same. It's like you think you're on the good side, but then you get a broader picture, and it's like, are you on the good side? Are you,
Who was
someone
really good?
else's?
Yeah.
Are you someone's villain? Are you the villain in someone else's story, kind of thing? So, um, I can't wait to see what they do with season two, and we don't have to wait that long because this Sunday, was it April 12th or April 13th?
13th, I
Trying to think.
believe.
13th. The Last of Us season two. Be sure to check that out.
Yes.
And we stepping in to our next topic, the Superman footage that came out. Tony, what did you think of it? You're really hyped over there. Yeah, I love it.
I had a good day today, honestly. I really did. I'm sorry. I just
Awesome,
I'm
awesome.
just
Hey,
in high
dude,
spirits today.
don't be sorry for having a good day, man. I love it.
Superman footage. I for one, I think James Gunn is a genius overall. If you've watched Guardians of
Okay.
the Galaxy, I've always told people Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is your preview to what Superman is going to be like. And I'm not saying it's going to be the same movie or anything. I'm just saying, like, visually, this guy is such a good director. Story-wise, such a good storyteller. Music, such great taste in music. James Gunn is one person I'd love to have to sit down and interview in a podcast. He's just a genius. But I have a couple questions with the Superman footage. Number one, who the fuck did he just fight that he's so fucked up?
Yeah.
It could be a
That
number of villains.
yeah.
That's the main question: is who did he fight that he got this fucked up?
Who did that to Superman? Like,
Yeah.
what does the other guy look like? Is the
Yeah.
question.
I'm pretty sure he doesn't have a scratch on him. If Superman's
So,
looking like that.
yeah.
Oh man. Number two, you can't help but just love Crypto in this
Oh yeah.
thing. But
Well,
do you hear how much he fucks up Superman when he's on the floor? Like, you can hear
oh
his
yeah, he's just like,
bones.
dude, he's like,
Yeah. I'm like, this guy's already going through injuries, bro.
I'm pretty sure when they go and when he goes to the fortress and they scan him, like Crypto did some of those.
That's what my
injuries.
dad was saying. So my dad's a diehard Superman fan, right? And we watched this
Yeah,
together on Friday before I went into work, and or no, we watched it on Saturday together. No, I'm sorry, was it Saturday? I don't remember. We watched it one of these last days, but anyway, what I thought was fascinating. Number three, I love the way the Fortress of Solitude turns now.
Yeah.
I thought that was
cool.
really
That was
badass.
cool.
I love number four. I love the science aspect of this movie where you're actually seeing them break down his skin cells, what's wrong with him damage wise.
Yeah.
You're actually seeing the sun hurt him because he is literally restructuring bones and tissue and everything at such a rapid pace that it's all happening at the same time, and it's legit hurting him, but it's making him powerful and stronger again.
I like that. Sorry to cut you off, but
No,
I
you're good.
like that you bring that up because one of the things I was seeing online is that people were, people complain about everything, but people were upset. They're like, "Oh, how is the sun like hurt Superman? It's supposed to make him stronger." But you're pointing out some good things here. Is that like, that they were saying all these robots who are analyzing him are like, he's got this, he's got this, he's got this.
Yeah,
So
he's hurting
imagine
right now.
like, yeah. So to me, that makes Superman
Human.
like,
It makes him
yes,
relatable.
yeah, and you like, oh, this guy, he's gonna hurt to get better, and I can understand that where it's like, hey, sometimes like when I don't feel good or this is going on, like, it sucks to heal, but you got to go through it.
Yeah.
And it does definitely make Superman more relatable, and it definitely makes it feel like he's not invulnerable, uh like to attacks, obviously, because we see him
Right.
hurt. But it makes it more where it's like, oh well, Superman's gonna win, like we know he's gonna win because he's Superman. It makes him vulnerable, and it makes it more we're like, oh well, what could happen to Superman?
Yeah. No, and I, James Gunn is, I will constantly praise James Gunn. He's a genius, man. He is very good at taking or nobody characters for one, but also characters that are very powerful, and he knows how to ground them to an audience level where they can relate to
Yeah.
them. For example, just take the Guardians of the Galaxy, right? Look at where we started with them in that first movie and where we ended with them in that last movie. It has been a dynamic of a family dynamic. Each one of them are special in their own ways. Each one of them has weaknesses. Each one of them has strengths. But everything was grounded to the point where, like, Drax was relatable because we all know a Drax in our life who just
Right.
says stupid shit. This takes you know what I mean? Like, we know a Drax.
That's me.
You're my Drax. We love you. We love you because you joke around. It's great.
I say stupid stuff all the time.
We all know someone who is very romantic and also very serious, like Gamora. We all know a fucking Star-Lord who's goofy and who's a leader. We all know, we all know a Rocket. We all know all these characters. Groot,
Yeah.
like, we know these characters. Like, everyone has someone like that in their life, if not relate to them themselves. I think he's going to do the exact same thing with Superman, and you're already seeing it with this footage he made. And for all the people online, they're fucking stupid. But for all the people who are saying that, not everyone that's
Yeah.
watching, everyone who's saying that, like, oh, how is the sun hurting them? Dude, break down the science of things. It's like when Wolverine heals or when he gets hurt, when he gets shot or anything, it hurts the fuck out of him. And if you look in
Yeah.
real time, he is healing and pulling out bullets, and he is actually moaning and grunting because it hurts in real time of him healing.
Right.
Like, it's just what it is. It's like Superman, we saw everything wrong with him. He had ribs, bad prostate, like all these shit wrong with him. Like I said, the sun is literally, yes, it is healing him and it does give him strength, but because he's so beat up, yeah, his bones, his tissue, everything, blood clots, any of that is healing at such a rapid pace that it is also hurting him at the same time.
Right.
But, like, I'm pretty sure after that's all said and done, this motherfucker's flying away. Like, he's just going to take off to the sun.
Oh yeah, he's gonna go. Whoever did that to him, he's gonna fight them again.
Yeah, like, he's going to be good to go. I think this casting is great. I think that, we're in for a lot of surprises. The rumor right now, or the whole thing with Crypto is actually, it is Supergirl's dog. And actually, in this universe, Crypto came with Supergirl, so it's Supergirl's dog. And Superman is pretty much babysitting Crypto, and he keeps him in the fortress. So Crypto gets lonely when he sees people. So that's why he was so excited when he saw Superman, because he doesn't get to see people very often. He only has those robots, and robots don't do much. So when he saw Superman, that's why he acted the way he did. And I think that's a really good kind of, like, that's how dogs really act in real life, like,
Oh yeah.
it's perfectly, how they do it. So that's going to tie into Supergirl, I think, at the end. I think the rumor is she's supposed to pick him up, and you're probably going to see her in a cameo at this movie. If not, you're going to see him show up in Supergirl for sure. And Supergirl has already got a ton of hype with it, with Jason Momoa as Lobo, bro. So stoked for
Oh
that.
yeah. Oh yeah.
So stoked.
Can't wait. Can't wait for that. Yeah. No. I like the trailer. I even the little humor. Now I know this was another thing. Like, oh, that's just stupid. But to me, I thought it was pretty funny. The robots when they're analyzing him.
Alan Tudyk.
And the yeah. When the one robot's like, oh, when he's like, oh, thank you, or he's, oh, you don't need to thank me because we don't appreciate it.
Yeah.
Or we have, like, we kind of like, we're that's what we're doing. We're robots.
And then the one girl, he looked at me.
Yeah, he looked at me like that I thought was just like, it was so funny, and it made me laugh. I was like, that's like that's like stupid, because it's like he's over here saying like, oh, we don't care.
Yeah.
And
then this one's over here like,
we won't appreciate the like the thank you, and then she's like, oh, he looked at me
like a
So I thought
fangirl.
yeah, I thought that was hilarious. Great. So I feel like we are gonna get so a little bit of lightheartedness. Maybe obviously you can see it with Crypto jumping all over Superman and beating the crap out of him.
Same CGI for Cosmo, by the way.
Yeah, good
CGI team.
They yeah, I don't know. I feel like I saw this online that Crypto was kind of modeled after
His dog.
his dog, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Same breed.
So Say again?
Same breed, different color. If you look at James
Okay.
Gunn, I think his dog is like brown or something like that, but it's the
Yeah,
same
like
breed.
I think it was like a darker, either like a brown or a black, but very much, you could see the model right there. So very cool.
Before
Cannot wait.
before we leave
Go ahead.
Superman, I'm gonna say one last thing. I'm gonna call it right
Go
now.
ahead.
Crypto's gonna steal that entire fucking movie.
I believe it.
Yep.
I believe it. Like he's gonna do something or show up or somewhere like when they need, like when Superman needs him most, he's just gonna show
He's
up
gonna
and
steal the whole fucking film, bro.
because he is Crypto the super dog.
Did you watch League of the Super Pets?
I did not.
It's
I did
good,
not.
bro. You gotta check that out. It's,
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's good.
I feel, is that on
Might be on
It's
Max.
not on Max?
It might
Yeah,
be
I
on
think I was
Max.
gonna say, I feel like I've seen
It's a
the,
kids movie, but God, I sat there and watched that shit. It was hilarious.
Oh, dude, I'll watch a kids movie.
It's great, dude. Think of Secret Life of Pets, but superheroes.
All right, I'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
I like Secret Life of Pets.
It's a great. Movie.
All right, so I didn't get to watch these, but luckily, my hero Anthony here got to check them out. We're gonna talk about them. We got 2 trailers that dropped. I believe it was today, which is the Thunderbolts and the Mission Impossible trailer. Anthony, since I did not do my homework and I rely on you to fill in, so class project here. Tell us about these trailers and what you thought of them.
So let me tell you how I found about the trailers. I was scrolling through TikTok on my lunch break, and I came across an ad, and the ad was for Mission Impossible. And I remembered yesterday that they put out a post saying, "Hey, trailer dropping tomorrow." I'm like, "Oh, sweet! Forgot all about that today." And I came across the ad on TikTok, and it was the full trailer. So I sat there and watched it. Tom Cruise is back at it. This is the final installment in the Mission Impossible franchise now. Back at it with the insane stunts. There's a lot of throwbacks and callbacks to all the movies to kind of like show the legacy and all the things he's done.
Okay.
Nick Offerman is going to be in the film as a general, it looks like. I'm super excited for that.
Okay.
Big Nick Offerman fan, so that's going to be cool. Ron Swanson for all you Parks and Recs fans. It just looks good. I think they showed the big stunt. They showed a couple stunts. They showed a lot of characters returning. I'm excited to see where this all ends. This was a franchise that I thought was going to probably go on for another 6 movies, and this is it. But Tom Cruise's biggest stunt is he's on this little stunt plane that's a 1-seater, and he's hanging on it as it's doing flips and glides and stuff. And anybody knows these movies are so entertaining because Tom Cruise does his own fucking stunts in these fucking movies. So everybody always has to ask the one question: what's the stunt? And I think the most cringiest stunt that he's done so far was when he broke the leg jumping the building.
Oh
And you
yeah,
can hear that shit.
crazy.
Oh my God. Yeah, and they kept it in the film. I was like, oh
And
my
yeah, well, because
God.
he just limped it off, like
Yeah.
he just like he broke his leg and just kept going.
And then after that, he had to go to the hospital, found out that he broke it. Then they had to stop production for like 2-3 months, and then he came back and finished the movie.
Yeah, that dude's crazy.
Guys
No,
hung on the side of a plane. It's like, it's just, I don't know.
I was telling Tony before we started, I was just like, because we were talking about the trailer, and I was just like, yeah, oh yeah, I think I saw him like hanging off of like the single seater plane. I was like, but I just thought that was like Tom Cruise, just like his
It's a typical
regular day
Tuesday.
life. Yeah, oh, Tom Cruise on his way to the market or something, just takes a plane. So
Just fucking
I was just like, I didn't think anything of
he parachutes off or what?
Yeah.
Well, didn't he do that like for the Olympics? Didn't he fly from like Europe to like the Hollywood sign and like put the flag in the Olympic? Because we're hosting the Olympics in 28, so it's like I think because he's so fucking, he got on a plane from Europe because where was it last time? Was it France?
I think so. I think it was in France.
It's somewhere in Europe. I know that. And he got on a plane, flew all the way from Europe to Hollywood in real time, or maybe they pre-recorded it. I don't know. But he planted the flag near the Hollywood sign because I know we're hosting the Olympics. And he jumped out of the plane in midair and parachuted to the Hollywood sign. And I was like, only Tom Cruise can do that.
Yeah, see, that's called Wednesday for Tom Cruise.
That's called just Wednesday. Just a typical way.
Yeah.
How many times do you think that guy jumped off the plane?
Oh, gee. Well, I feel like he probably does like skydiving for fun. So
Yeah, I know he flies for
he's got-
fun. So
yeah, I know. Yeah, I've heard him doing flying things.
here's my follow-up question: how many licenses do you think this guy has?
licenses. Oh, like for like I
To
mean,
drive. He's probably got at
he got
least 10
driver's
licenses.
license. He's got his regular
He's
license.
got his
His
trucker's
motorcycle's
license, got his
license.
pilot's
Yeah,
license, he's got his
yeah, and he
fucking.
has all his licenses for everything. You're
That
like,
guy's
is
got
Tom
like so
Cruise
much insurance and paperwork he's probably got to pay for.
like is Tom Cruise driving an 18-wheeler?
Yeah, it's just a typical Saturday for him.
Yeah, yeah. He's like, oh, making deliveries.
Yeah,
FedEx
but
deliveries.
overall looks great. I'm super stoked. I believe it's coming out this summer, so it's gonna be part of the summer blockbuster lineup. So looking
Nice.
forward to that.
Nice. And then we get a movie I'm very excited for, and I cannot wait for The Thunderbolts.
Oh, I dropped my phone. Damn it.
Oh no! Oh no!
That's not good. I found it.
Anthony could be the
Red
you could be
Guardian.
you could be, well, the Brown Guardian.
I'll
I'd go with
take
the
it.
Brown Guardian. There you go. There you go.
Yeah, bro. What you got on me? Cap?
I didn't got no, I'm Batman.
Oh, yeah, that's true. You are Batman.
So-
Thunderbolts looks great, bro.
Okay.
I'm so
I
stoked.
mean, I've seen the other trailers. I just didn't get to see this one. I'll probably check it out after we get off here. But,
Yeah.
um,
Very Sentry Void heavy.
Okay.
How much you know about the character Sentry?
Nothing.
Sentry, okay, I'll give you a quick little backstory real quick. So
Yeah,
Sentry's going to
go
be
do it.
essentially our main, I think, villain for this film, who is AKA Bob in the trailer.
Okay.
That's who that is.
Okay. Okay.
So Sentry in the comic books is a character with a split personality. He's kind of on drugs a lot before he got his powers. So one night he was snooping into a top secret government facility looking for drugs until he came across an enhanced version of the super soldier serum.
Interesting.
Thinking it was a drug, he took it. Mind you, the guy already had a split personality. So what did that drug do? Not only did it enhance his performance as a person and everything, but it also enhanced those split personalities. So we were given the superhero version, which is Sentry, and the villain version of a split personality, which is called the Void. Who you've been seeing do all those shadow puppety.
Yeah, I
thingies.
saw. Okay, interesting.
So that is who we see a lot in this newest trailer. We see him do more stuff, and we're basically told in the trailer the Avengers are not no more. They're not coming. There's no Avengers. You are the only hope. The Thunderbolts are the only hope to take down Sentry. As you guys recall in Captain America: Brave New Worlds, spoiler alert, real quick. They talk about forming the Avengers. Him and President Thunderbolt Ross, Captain America, and they wanted to do it under the government's watch, but Falcon kind of disagrees. Captain America disagrees that, like, hey, well, what if we come into a scenario that we all don't agree upon? Because we've been down this road before. So
Right.
fast forward, no Avengers yet, which I'm assuming we're going to get them in Doomsday, obviously. But no Avengers as of right now. Everyone's just kind of doing their own thing. Sokovia Accords in effect. Mayor Kingpin in Daredevil. That's happening right now. So
Yeah.
there's a lot going on.
One thing, what do you think? So on the Thunderbolts, like on all the trailers and posters, they have that little asterisk next to Thunderbolts.
Oh,
What-
yeah. I don't know what that's
What
about.
do you think that is? What do you think that is? Are they gonna change the name, or like is it Thunderbolts for now? But then like in the movie, they're gonna be like a different version of the Avengers, or
So the Thunderbolts for me in the comic books was always led by Thunderbolt Ross. I was shocked to find out that I could have remembered an early concept art that he was on that team, the Red Hulk.
okay.
I like early concept art when they first announced this movie. I remember that he was
I feel
on.
like I do remember that too. So I think you are right with that.
Yeah.
Like I saw the Red Hulk with them.
So I'm gonna say it right now. I'm gonna call it right here before that movie drops. I think he's gonna make an appearance in the film, especially because he's locked up in the raft right now.
Okay.
So
That would be really cool. I no complaints here from me for that, because I think that'd be really cool. I liked
Red Hulk.
in Brave New World. I like the Red Hulk. So if they can bring him into the Thunderbolts somehow, I'm okay with that.
Well, think about what the Thunderbolts is. It's basically Marvel's Suicide Squad. And what was the Suicide Squad? The Suicide Squad was a group of criminals who did suicide missions to get reduced sentences off their prison
Right.
time.
Right.
Same kind of concept. I don't know if all these guys are locked up in prison or not. I don't think they are. But you have a group of rejects, a group of failures, a group of essentially villains who are coming
Right.
together to do some good. Originally, like I said, originally it was led by Thunderbolt Thaddeus Ross, but I don't know what they're gonna do with this movie. It looks like it's being led from the chick from Seinfeld. So
Oh, I forgot her name in the.
you know who I'm talking about, though.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Well, in the show in Seinfeld, she's Elaine.
Elaine. We'll just go with Elaine.
Yeah.
Everybody knows
Yeah,
Elaine. Everybody
Elaine.
knows Seinfeld. If
Yeah,
you're too young,
yeah.
if you're young enough and you don't know Seinfeld, well, I'm pretty sure it's on some streaming
Wait, I
service.
lost
So go
you.
check it out.
I lost you. You disappeared for like. Your voice disappeared for like 4 seconds.
Oh, did it?
Yeah. There you go.
Oh, I was gonna say
Yeah,
I'm pretty
quiet.
sure Seinfeld's on some streaming service. So go watch it. Go educate yourself.
Oh yeah. I feel like it's on. Is
And
it
it's on
Max?
it's on TV every single night. I know that for a
Oh
fact.
yeah, you can watch it like yeah, you for sure. It's like on TBS or something.
Comedy
I
Central
watch-
has it every now
Yeah,
and then.
there you go. It's there. So I'm trying to think of her name now, but
Thunderbolts, yeah, I have a lot of hype for this movie. I always actually did have a lot of hype for this movie. I'm so excited to see what it is they bring to the table with this one. And honestly, like Marvel's been on a kind of comeback phase. They're on a comeback
Yeah.
tour right now, and I
Yeah.
you know, I think we got a strong Daredevil has 2 more episodes left. It's been a great season so far. Season 2 is already in production. Thunderbolts is coming out next, and then the Fantastic Four, which I am so hyped for.
yeah,
I feel like we have another show coming out. I think we have a Wakanda show coming out for sure, and I think we have a couple other Disney Plus stuff coming out. But
yeah,
uh,
the TV stuff.
yeah,
And yeah, we could touch on this. We could touch on this lightly. But just because you brought it up, and I feel like if you haven't watched the show, um, you're missing out. But you brought it up. Daredevil, Born Again. I think we'll be on our 7th. We're gonna be on our eighth
number
eighth
8
episode?
tomorrow. Yes.
Yeah, eight's tomorrow, later today, whatever, however technicalities. What have you thought? I really enjoyed the show. What have you thought of the show so far? I think uh I at the very beginning I feel like not so much I wasn't on board. I was a little hesitant because we weren't really getting too much of Daredevil.
Okay.
It was more Matt Murdock, the lawyer. But I feel like as the show's gone on, we've seen uh the Matt realizing that he is the Daredevil, and the Matt Murdock is kind of his mask kind of thing as the show's progressed out. So how do you feel about it so far, and what are you looking forward to? Because like you said, they're already I know they're shooting, or they're going to shoot the next season of it. So
they're shooting it right now.
what-
Yeah.
yeah, there you go. So what do you think about all that and your feelings on the show?
I actually am a huge fan of the show so far. I love the character of Daredevil. And whatnot. I think that what they are doing with the character this season was interesting, and I could see where you get those frustrations, because I actually had that conversation with my coworker. I was like, I just want to see him in the suit again.
Yeah.
But looking back at it and just kind of seeing this buildup of where we've seen, I actually do like the pace of the show of where they're going, because in the very beginning of the show, and I'm not going to get into what happens or what spoilers or anything, but the very beginning of the show, the stuff happens, and then, he just decides, hey, I'm going to be just Matt Murdock, the lawyer. I'm going to try to fight
Yeah.
the system as part of the system. So, he goes on that whole crusade, and he delivers on some stuff, but then, something happens where it's like, I don't have a choice anymore. I try to play by the system's rules, and the system is not working.
Right.
So I got to take the system in my own hands and play by my rules now, which really is focusing on forcing him to come back as Daredevil. Meanwhile, on the other side, you have Kingpin, who,
Right.
And I gotta say, this was probably one of the greatest casting choices of all time. Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin is so incredible. I love his performance as it, and he just continues to impress every episode. So Vincent D'Onofrio, I've been a fan of yours for many, many years, going back Full Metal Jacket. Keep doing what you're doing, man. This is great. But you got Vincent D'Onofrio's character, obviously the Kingpin, who is on this whole tour of being mayor. He is the mayor of New York City now, just like in the comic books. And his whole thing is he's trying to be legit and he's trying to get the people on his side and he's trying to be, all these people. But then there's always that life of crime that has not left him. And there's that life that he cannot just seem to leave. So you're seeing him struggle with that and him go back into his Kingpin era while Matt's struggling with what he's struggling with the system and he's going back to his Daredevil era. It has been a build. This last couple episodes have been more suiting up, more stuff, and I really like what they've been doing. I think for me, what's been saving it as far as no suiting up with Matt Murdock was the performance of Vincent D'Onofrio. I think his Kingpin is just absolutely phenomenal.
Oh yeah, well like you're saying, Vincent D'Onofrio's just his acting is phenomenal, and I think it really is. You see, like and I mean, in a sense, it's hypocritical because he only sees the good that he is doing, whereas like and they're kind of like on the hunt of the vigilante, like he's against the vigilante.
You're talking about the Vigilante Task Force.
Yes, I love it. I love when you do that voice. So it's like he starts to slip back into his old ways, but he always justifies it, why it's okay for him to do it, but it's not okay for others.
Mass vigilantes, let's just put it that way.
Right. Yeah. Mass vigilante. That's not okay. But what he's doing, he'll like, again, it's for the betterment. The evil is good, because the ends is gonna justify the means. He has that kind of mindset, and I really do enjoy his performance. The Daredevil performance and Matt Murdock, that's really good. But I think honestly the standout for me this season has been Vincent D'Onofrio's performance as Kingpin. How he's just kind of like, he wants to run the city, but at the same time he also wants to run the underbelly of the city, and it's a balancing act of, he doesn't want people to see him in this shadowy light, but he wants people to see him in this, like, kind of savior of the city light. And so I just think overall, definitely he stood out for this season of Daredevil for me, as far as his acting, the way his character is, and he's just been killing it this season.
Yeah, I love the I love that they really, for this season, and it's been like this throughout the entire series, but really this season more than ever, you get that really deep dive into both characters as far as their mindsets are current time, because we've seen, we grew up with these characters, you know what I mean? 2015 it dropped on Netflix, and it was unbelievable when that show dropped. And then season 2 came out and it was even better than season 1. And then season 3 came out and it was better, and now this season's out and it's really good.
Yeah.
And it's like, this chemistry between Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio is just so good. I watch interviews with them on this press tour that they had, and they just are just best friends in real life, dude. Like, and when you have two actors that are that good chemistry-wise, their performance on screen is going to be amazing because they can talk to each other and give each other feedback and give each other notes. And I don't know if the character would reply it this way or how the character would react this way. You know what I mean? Like, they do their research and they know the characters. And let's be honest here. Side note, Matthew Murdock is not blind. Look at all the beautiful women he is with on this show. Like, he is not blind. He knows exactly what he's doing. It's all a gimmick. No, but in all seriousness, Daredevil, I am so excited. The only thing I am not happy about so far is there was a lot of Punisher teased in this show, and I've only seen one fucking episode with him in so far. So I'm hoping for a grand finale with the two, because
No, I agree. I want to, I want to see some more Punisher. But one thing I've really enjoyed the show so far. One thing it's not over. The season's not over.
No.
One thing I'm really looking forward to, or I would want to see, is one of those long extended
one shots.
One shots.
I think they did one in the beginning of the series, though, didn't they?
No. Not like the fight, not like
you talking about like the hallway microwave scene?
Yeah, the hallway, like with the prison,
the stairs.
The stairs, like just one of those like those are legend.
Maybe we're
Oh,
saving
dude,
it. Maybe we're saving it for the good action
yeah,
at the
I'm
end.
hoping. I'm hoping they're saving it for the end because,
Because from
like,
set
dude.
photos I've seen, Daredevil and Punisher are supposed to team up and fight somebody. I don't know who they're
Okay,
fighting, but like the set
okay,
photos I've seen, it's like Punisher's pretty beat up. He's in his Punisher costume. Daredevil's standing right next to him. He looks pretty beat up, but he's in his Daredevil costume. I know unless they filmed that for season 2, which I really hope they didn't, I know they're gonna have a team up scene, and it only makes sense. Like it, everything leading up to
yeah.
this season, it makes sense for Punisher to come out and team with him.
Well, yeah, because you got
The
you know
cops,
yeah, the cops who are like they're like they got the Punisher gear
tattoo and shit.
and all that
Yeah,
stuff, and I'm sure
he's
he's
not
not
happy
okay
about
with
it.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not happy about that. But dude, if you got Punisher and Daredevil with like a oneer, oh
You know,
man, bro, like
so I will say this though. So far, my favorite scene of this show, then there's so many to choose from because I think there's a lot of good Kingpin monologues, a lot of good Charlie Cox monologues, there's a lot of good scenes with both of them together. But
yeah.
my favorite scene thus far was when he went to go. Him and Punisher have a good scene again. It
Oh yeah,
reminded me
very
a lot of
emotional,
that.
very emotional.
Well, yeah, and it reminded me of that rooftop scene in season 2 when
Yeah,
I think that was such a great piece of dialogue between the two, and that's one of my favorite scenes in season 2. But it gave me that reminisce. But like just to hear them go back and forth, you know what I mean? Of
yeah,
all their demons and all their mistakes and shit. And it's just like eventually it ended with like, well, I don't really think that of you, but you know, and I know you don't think this of me, but like I'm just here to let you know as a friend, this is what's happening, this is what's going on.
yeah.
If you choose to
Well,
decide on act on it, that's on you.
yeah, it was I mean, it's like what he said, like you're here to like get my permission,
Yeah.
like to do something that you know needs to be done,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's so I just think, I think the Punisher does a really good job of kind of calling Daredevil out
Yeah.
because he's like he's battling, well, I don't want to do it. Daredevil doesn't want to be the bad guy.
But
He-
Punisher,
it-
he's so far down the rabbit hole with everything that's happened in his life, he doesn't give a fuck. He will
yeah, yeah,
kill and do anything he needs to do. One of my favorite scenes in season 2 was when he tells them, "You hit him and they get back up. I hit him, they stay down." And I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Damn, bro, wow."
Great. It's a great scene.
But
Great scene.
one last thing on the Daredevil thing that I want to talk about with the whole thing going on with Kingpin and what he's trying to do with New York with this
Okay.
vigilante task force, or this vigilante task force that he's trying to do. What does that mean for Spider-Man? Now I know Vincent D'Onofrio recently just came out and said that he can't appear in the films due to rights or
Right.
something like that, but
Right, yeah.
that would affect Spider-Man now more than ever, now that he's by himself in New York and he's Spider-Man wearing a mask. So like, what does that mean for Spider-Man? Are we going to get mention of that in Spider-Man of Kingpin's, I don't even know if Kingpin will be mayor by the end of this season. Who knows? But I don't
You
know.
know, I think because I heard that too today about him saying that, like, he can't appear in the live action because of rights. But you know what, like that, they could mention him, like maybe
His
like
face shows
visually
up or
can't
something.
appear. Yeah, maybe they can't, like, he can't be on in the movie like physically, but oh, Mayor Kingpin, announces da 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 da,
Mayor Fisk.
XYZ. Yeah, they, Kingpin, Mayor Fisk, obviously. Um, but maybe they do one of those, like, because even they used to do when it was like the Netflix had, like, Daredevil,
Yeah.
and they made like references to
The incident.
the incident, stuff like that. So maybe it's something along those lines, or they just whoever has the rights is willing to be like, hey, we'll let you rent out the character of
Which I thought
Fisk.
Marvel
And
had all the rights to everything. The only thing they don't have
it
full rights to is fucking Spider-Man.
yeah, well, that's what I'm saying, like, so it could be like
It could be a
maybe they
Sony
don't.
issue.
Yeah, I think it could be a Sony thing. It's all about money.
Sony, if you are
Think-
listening, just fucking sell the rights back to Marvel already, please. Just let them have the full fucking slate of things so they can do. Well, because Kingpin is also a Spider-Man villain too. I think he
yeah.
originally was a Spider-Man villain
I don't know
before,
if he would,
but he's always been a main Daredevil villain.
yeah, yeah, Kingpin, obviously, because see, here's the thing too, is we see Kingpin in
Echo.
the first was it Into the Spider-Verse?
Yeah, but it was a different. Now you know who that was played by, right? That was played by shit. Why did his name escape my mind right now? I think it was the guy who played Ray Donovan.
Uh, Why
and
do I can't
and
think
he
of his
also
name?
played Liev Schreiber.
Liev Schreiber.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
he
He was in
voiced him.
Scream.
Yes,
He
and
was in
he
Scream.
also was in X-Men Origins Wolverine.
There you go. Sabretooth.
Yep, which I think he did a great job in that role.
But anyways, yeah, I don't know what the yeah, he did do a real um I don't know what the rights are, is all that stuff. You know, if someone pays someone enough money, they can do it. They can make it happen, but it's all about the good old dollar bill and who's going to pay what for rights for things. But that would be really cool to see the Kingpin in a or fit Mayor Fisk in a Spider-Man movie and how that would go.
Sorry, I think I have a dent in my head, and it happens when you wear headphones for too long.
It does.
Your head just gets irritated. It's nothing that damaging to the skull, but I can feel the indent going down. And I do wear headphones like practically all day. I wear earphones at work, and I wear this at home. So it's like I'm feeling my hair, and I'm like, it's going up and
You're
down.
feeling it. It's
I
got
think
the
I
little
have a dent
indent.
right here. I was like, I got a dent in my head, bro.
Don't worry, it hasn't penetrated your skull.
No, it won't. It's just the skin getting irritated from the headset.
There you go. All right, well, I think that wraps it up for today's Real Talk. Anthony, you have anything? Is there something we missed? Did something you want to add before we sign off
One
here?
last thing I want to talk about, and it's a TV
Let's
show.
do it. TV show.
One that I've been enjoying a lot, exclusively on Apple TV Plus. The Studio.
Ooh, yes.
The Studio
Oh,
has
yes.
been. If you are a movie fan, obviously like us, because we are doing a whole podcast on this. But I felt
Yes.
like we needed to talk about this one because this is the ultimate meta show. This is what exactly you think happens. And Seth Rogen and them, they've been in the business for 25 years. They've seen people like this throughout their career. They've been witness to some of these things on their career. He's even talked about like when producers come on sets, or the studio comes on set, and how people are just so on edge on it, and they like do all this. They bent their back backwards to just try to impress them. And he's like, I've seen people like that. And he goes, that performance was based on a true story. Shit happens. Things get fucked up. This show is so good. It's funny. It's meta. It's honestly what I think happens when these movies get fucked up due to studio interference. Such great guests on it so far. Martin Scorsese's been on it. Ron Howard has been on it. Anthony Mackie so far. There's more to come, but it is such a great show. It is so funny. If you are a movie buff, if you are a fan of the movie making process, watch this show. I think they did a great job on it, and I can't wait to watch. I think a new episode drops tomorrow or today. I might go watch it right now if it dropped today, but it is a great show. I highly say it on Apple TV Plus. I don't even have an iPhone, and I'm still watching it now. Come on.
Yeah. I mean, I'm watching it too. I really enjoy it. There was the one it was so hilarious because
The one
I
shot?
think it was Sharp. Dude, the oneer, that whole
episode
dude,
is
that
great.
was everything they did. It was just amazing. But no, I'm talking about the part where I think it's Charlize Theron. They're at
Her
Charlize Theron's party, and she kicks him out.
She made Martin
Dude,
Scorsese cry.
Yeah, he made Martin Scorsese cry, and she boots him out, dude. I was dying. I was like, dude, that's
dude. And they
that's
got her to
hilarious.
make
But
a
yeah,
cameo in the damn thing, dude. Like, come on.
yeah, dude. That show.
It's
that
good.
show is really good. It's funny.
And a great main cast. I mean, Seth Rogen is the lead, and he's got all his friends in it. Like, people you've seen in Rogen films, people you've just seen in the industry. Like, it's awesome.
Who's is it Catherine Hahn?
Yeah, Catherine Hahn.
Yeah.
She's the marketing manager.
Yeah, she's hilarious.
Oh,
Just
she's
his
funny,
whole little,
bro.
His whole little crew there, like
They're
it's like the
great.
four of them. They're great.
And I guarantee
great
you've seen a lot of
casting.
the crew like on other movies that he's done or just movies in general because they're all well-known actors. One person that was introduced at the beginning of the episode, we haven't seen him since, Bryan Cranston, who actually owns the studio. I hope we see more of him in the season, like another mid-season report with him or something like that, because I think Bryan Cranston is just such a great actor, and that role was just so funny when he was playing it. It's a good show.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's a hilarious show. Really enjoyed it. But that's gonna wrap it up today for Real Talk here on the Fence movie review. Again, Tony, thank you so much for letting me not ramble on and you such insightful takes on everything. tell everyone where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find us on the old Twitter machine, all the old Instagram machine, the TikTok machine, all the machines that we call social media at the Nights of Horror, and X is just at Nights of Horror because it's the Nights of Horror was a little bit too long for X's standards. So we're just Nights of Horror there. But TikTok, the Nights of Horror, Instagram, the Nights of Horror, and you can find us on YouTube at the Nights of Horror, Twitch at Nights of Horror as well. You can find Nights of Horror Radio live on Twitch with me and Rob, and then the replays are available for your viewing enjoyment on YouTube. And I've been putting up a lot of TikToks of clips from me and Rob and Nights of Horror Radio, and you're going to see more throughout the week of Rob and I just rambling about random things in the horror and haunt community. So
we like to ramble.
We do like to ramble. You just heard us ramble about movies, and now you can go hear us ramble on Nights of Horror Radio about horror and haunt. So there's that. But yeah, and then obviously you're here on the Fence Movie Review, so consider subscribing and check out the rest of the content on here, from movie reviews to the podcast and even trailer breakdown. We haven't done a trailer breakdown in a while. We should do one of those one day.
We need to do a trailer breakdown. Yeah.
Yeah. When's the next? When the next Superman trailer comes out, you and I need to get on here and do a trailer breakdown.
Well, like the big almost.
Or a Jurassic World trailer. Either or
that or
something.
John Wick or something. Yeah, we'll
figure
get a trailer reaction.
Yeah.
But saying all that, I am Rob.
I'm Anthony.
Tony. Thanks for tuning in and watching Real Talk on the Fence Movie Reviews. Remember, we'll catch you on the fence.